And there's a little aside here, a little takeaway for you in your work. 2 meetings. We have one, we go into our meetings, tick, 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 we say the things we have to say, we walk out of there, don't let the door hit you on the way out, and we think we're done. Mike always had 2 meetings. Why? I'll tell you. When we came off the water, the blood was still rushing through our veins, heart rate's elevated, during race peaking at 190, 195 beats per minute, the adrenaline humming. And he'd come and he'd ask us what went wrong. We came 5th in that race, unacceptable for the culture that Mike trained us under in Canada, defending Olympic champions. 5th place, not good enough. And he'd go one by one and we'd say, yeah, we weren't driving the catch together, we weren't bringing our legs down together, it just felt heavy. And then several hours later, when our psychology had time to settle, now was some time to reflect, to think about the experience, we'd meet in his hotel room. And he'd go one by one around in a semicircle, asking each of us what we thought went wrong during the race, so that each of us could listen to the other and understand how we were thinking about, how we were feeling about moving the boat together. In rowing, if your oar goes in the water a centimeter too early or too late, it makes it so heavy for the rest of the guys in the boat. It's the ultimate team sport. So he went around, and he came to me. And I had this great answer already. You know the feeling? You're in the meeting, you're waiting for your time to shine, they give you the platform, it's like go time. And he asks me something else. He says, Jerry, why do you make such a pain face when you row? Are you trying to encourage the competition? I'm like, my God, Mike, I'm putting everything I have, sorry, Vince, into the face of my oar. I can't control what's going on in my face. Driving me nuts. And then I kid you not, he responded with this gem, verbatim. He says, Jerry, if someone were to take a knife and stab me in the heart, I would simply close my eyes, fall backwards, and die. But I would not make a face. This is what you've worked with someone like this. The guy drove me nuts. And look, it's funny looking back now, making light of it. But I have to tell you, in the moment, what happened was I was crushed, I was humiliated in front of my teammates. And I thought the journey was over right there and then, because if you lose, as you know, the respect of the people who are working alongside you every day, that team is going to dispatch with you eventually. And you might be on the outside looking in before the performance development plan biannual hits. Doesn't matter. They're going to get rid of you. You're going to be on the outside, and you can't fight your way back in when you lose the trust of the people you're working most closely with towards your goal. And I thought I lost these guys. I remember going back to my hotel room, head in hands. And then I get a knock on the door. And not all of the guys, but 2 of the guys who were in the boat, experienced, had been in Beijing, they came and they said, Jer, we like what we saw out there. You're trying damn hard. You're going to be a part of the equation in London. Keep going. Don't give up. And I can't tell you the light that wanted to shoot out of every pore in my body to hear that I had not lost the trust, but that in fact they had seen that just the brute throwing of my body and my soul and everything I had into this was good enough. That they would understand and realize that I was going to catch up eventually, and that even you, in a position inferior to these CAOs, if you're not all CAOs, can inspire from the bottom, from within, can come into an environment, and just by virtue of your bloody effort, you can jack up those CAOs and say, we got to go to another level. I'm going to get off the CAO thing because I don't even know if it's making sense. Probably took it too far. Bad speaker habit. A few years later, I asked the athletes, their names are Gabe and Malcolm, who came up to me. I said, you guys realize that the impact you had on me in that moment? They're just like, oh, shit, Jer. Freaking looked like you were going to kill yourself or something. Had to say something. Sometimes the words that we have are so powerful, right? The recognition that we need as human beings. You're giving it every day. You don't even know the impact it's having on others. To this day, they don't even realize how they lifted me up with their words. Something to think about as you work with your team.